throw me off.
Good evening.
Okay.
Kathy, are you good?
I'm all messed up, but we're good.
I'll stall. Good evening. Welcome to the May 13th Planning and Zoning Commission, City of Lockport. To begin, I would like everyone to rise and we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. That's fine.
Thank you. Kathy, would you like to do a roll call vote? Or, roll call, not a vote, just a roll call.
You got it. I got to get the order right now. So Jordan. Okay. All right. We have Peters.
Here.
Thank you. Calderon.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
Likens.
Here.
Misek. Garland.
Yep.
And Giorgetti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Kathy. And with that, I'd just like to welcome a few new faces to the room this evening. Our new city attorney, Mike Carroll, sitting next to Kathy. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Sure. Thank you.
Keep us in line. And we have two new commissioners, Jordan Michek, next to me. He's the big guy. And Joe Giorgetti with a nice jacket on, to my left. So welcome. Glad you're part of the crew.
Shit.
With that, I would like to entertain a motion for the approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 8th zoning board meeting minutes.
Have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. We have the motion by Peters and a second by Garland. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. Okay. Our first case this evening, case 2025-004, in recognition of staff's memo, we would like to entertain a motion to continue this case to our June 10th Planning Zoning Commission meeting. Do I have a motion to continue this case?
Quick question, was that just additional engineering? Is that what was the case, I think, for the, stormwater and such?
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. We have a motion by Mr. Garland.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Quinn. All in favor, please say aye.
Mr. Chair, point of order real quick. Did you identify the number on this one or no?
Yes.
Okay.
2025-004.
Thank you. Apologize for the interruption.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, our second case this evening is case 2025-005, special use permit for planned residential development, rezoning to R2 single-family residential, and preliminary and final development plan in one step, and a final plat of subdivision known as Flagstone Villas. This is a public hearing, so I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Garland,
Second.
second by Quinn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Public hearing is open. Would you like to present the case, Kimberly?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Good evening, members of the Commission. The case before you tonight is case number 2025-005. Oops. The applicant, Chris Cazzo, on behalf of Yukon Development, has submitted preliminary and final in one-step development plans for Flagstone Villas, a 4.4-acre residential townhome community for the property generally located at the northeast corner of Victoria Crossing and Cedar Road. This subject property, Zone C2, was part of an approved 202-acre planned unit development known as Victoria Crossings that consisted of R1 single-family, R2 single-family, and C2 community commercial. Victoria Crossings is primarily a residential development located both east and west of Cedar Road, north of Division Street, with 2 parcels having frontage on Cedar Road being zoned C2. The subject property was one of 2 properties with C2 designation, which was intended for the development of Lockport Memory Care, an assisted living and adult daycare facility, which was withdrawn in 2013, and the parcel had remained vacant ever since. In 2022, Mr. Cazzo had come forth with a concept plan for Flagstone Villas. A 27-unit townhome community was approved by the council. In 2023, the concept plan renewed and has subsequently expired in 2024. Today, the applicant has advanced to preliminary and final development plan in one step for Flagstone Villas. The development is substantially in conformance with the approved concept plan, with some exceptions such as the number of units has decreased from 27 to 23, and the private access drive is instead proposed as a dedicated road, however, will be maintained privately. Other changes relate to the parkway area and sidewalk being located on one side of the road instead of on both sides. Next, displayed on your monitor is the zoning. The proposed development will prompt a change in zoning from C2 community commercial to R2 single-family residential. R2 zoning would make sense in this location since the existing townhome development immediately to the east is presently zoned R2. Cedar Road is under the jurisdiction of the Will County Department of Transportation. Direct access from Cedar is not permitted, which could limit commercial uses. Direct access would come from Victoria Crossing. A final plat of subdivision is displayed. The final plat illustrates that the total area of the proposed development is 4.4 acres. The proposed plat calls for road dedication of Flagstone Drive. The 24 lots consist of 1 large common lot that will be maintained by a homeowners association and 23 single-family attached townhome lots in which homeowners will own their unit with a small area that includes outdoor porch area and patio area. The density is 5.23 dwelling units per acre. In your staff memo, you'll see a table that includes modifications related to standards of the development code and the zoning ordinance. As with any planned development, modifications are common to accommodate a unified development. In this case, there are a couple items that may stick out. The one is open space. The requirement, open space requirement is 40%, however, 0% is listed. This is because there's not recreational space provided on this lot. However, if you consider that this property was created in the context of the larger development, there's more than adequate recreational open space within close proximity. Secondly, the minimum landscape surface and maximum impervious surface area. It appears that there's an error occurred by using the unit lot area versus the technical lot area. Staff's estimated calculations are approximately 45% and 55%, which is closer in conformance. Staff will seek clarification prior to the committee of the whole meeting. Findings of fact. A planned development is a special use in all zoning districts. The proposed use is subject to these special use procedures, which are displayed on your monitor. Staff finds that the proposed development establishes compliance with the standards of a special use. For number 1, the proposed ranch-style townhomes are a desirable housing type and sought after in the community. Staff finds the proposed townhomes are in the public interest and will contribute to the general welfare of the neighborhood. For number 2, the proposed townhome development will not have an adverse effect upon the adjacent property. The proposed use is complementary to the existing townhomes and are an attractive product that will contribute to the character of the neighborhood. For number 3, the subject property is a 4-acre parcel that is surrounded by land that has already been developed with a similar housing type. It is designed and arranged in an orderly and unified layout that would not impact development of surrounding property. And then lastly, number 4, the planned development is in conformance with the objectives intended to encourage improved design in the development of land and meets the objectives of section 156.140 as outlined in your staff memo. Next, displayed is a final site plan. The final site plan is substantially in conformance with the approved concept plan. As previously stated, there is a decrease in the number of units from 27 to 23. The site plan illustrates that the units will be oriented to face a main north-south dedicated access drive off of Victoria Crossing. The access drive has a cul-de-sac turnaround with guest parking. The parking is located inside the cul-de-sac. All units have 2-car garages and separate driveways. The final site plan calls for a sidewalk to be provided on one side of the dedicated access drive instead of both sides. Next displayed is the final landscape plan. The final landscape plan is illustrated and is in conformance with the city's landscape ordinance. The plan shows that required street trees are provided but located inside the sidewalk on the privately owned common outlot. The applicant is providing sod on all sides of the units with the exception of seed and blanket along buffer areas. And the typical foundation landscape detail will need to be updated to show the sod areas to match the final landscape plan. As a condition of approval, this will need to be addressed prior to the committee of the whole agenda. Staff finds that all landscaping requirements have been provided. Elevations are shown. The proposed townhomes meet the city's design standards. Based on the elevations, masonry is included in the building materials. The proposed townhomes are ranch-style units, some having walkout basements. So you'll notice a nice board with color renderings that the applicant has provided for you tonight. Engineering, the city's development engineering staff reviewed the submitted plans. The plans proved to be in substantial conformance with city code. However, there are remaining staff comments that will need to be addressed prior to the committee of the whole meeting. Should you have questions, Dan Watson, development engineer, can answer engineering-related questions for you. Fire district review, the Homer Protection District provided comment. All building and sprinkler plans will need fire review at the time of building permit. Should you find the proposed 23-unit residential townhome development acceptable, the following motion is suggested. A motion to approve staff's findings of facts and recommend approval the City Council for the proposed rezoning, special use permit for a planned development, preliminary and final plat and plan to the following conditions. Number 1, an amended annexation agreement shall be submitted with the submission of the preliminary development plan application to address uses, general design standards, as well as other details and obligations necessary for the development of the property as a residential development, townhome development. Number 2, the foundation landscaping details shall be updated to match the final landscape plan prior to committee of the whole agenda. This will be due to city staff no later than Thursday, May 22nd. And all remaining staff comments from engineering review memo dated May 7th shall be addressed prior to the committee of the whole meeting and also due May 22nd. This concludes staff's analysis, and the applicant is here this evening for questions and comments.
Thank you, Kimberly. Chris, do you have anything you would like to present or add to what Kimberly very eloquently provided to us?
Good evening. Haven't been up here in a long time. Welcome to the staff members, okay, and committeemen. We've been working on this site probably for about 4 or 5 years here, and as Kimberly mentioned, it was a couple of years ago, we submitted a plan for 27 units, which had a combination of some 2-story units in there and the rest of them are the ranch units that we're proposing now. But with the current market, the way that it's reacting and the absorption rate, we felt that the 2 stories were something that probably not needed there, and brought us down to the 23 unit count, and more of duplex. We only have 1 building on there showing a 3 unit on there. So more desirable units, less density, and a little bit higher end product than what we originally proposed. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Chris. I would ask if there are any members of the public that would like to speak about the project. Okay. If none, I would entertain a motion to, actually, would any members here like to have any questions for Chris before we close the public hearing here?
I have just a couple of questions. So for the detention pond across the street, is that owned and maintained by the city, or is that through the HOA?
Park District.
Park District? Okay. Okay. And then I know access from Cedar, that's a Will County DOT issue. Is that just, like, they don't want many more access points along Cedar?
Nope.
Okay. Easy enough. That was all I had, so.
Okay. I would then entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I just had a couple things real
question
quick. So on the table, you guys said that the maximum impervious surface area, it's 73.2. Kimberly, you said that you think it's closer to 55, because also on the site, one of the site plans, it's showing about 63.6. And then the minimum landscape surface coverage, it says 26.8. I was calculating 36.4. So as long as we know that that's gonna, be modified. Same thing with the open space. And then the other thing that I had was, how close were we on the sidewalk on the other side of the street? It's not a huge deal. It's just, it would have been nice to have that on both. Were we like feet away, or,
Our challenge there is the lot
Behind.
width. And in order to get the landscape buffer on Cedar, which we felt was more important than trying to get a second sidewalk, given the limited number of units and the width of the street, we felt it was more important to have the landscape buffer up against Cedar just for sound and noise and general safety than having that second. If we were going to put the second one over there in its current configuration, one or the other driveway would be shrunk down to less than 20 feet.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. No, I agree. And then one thing, when I first looked at it, I'm like, oh, that's relatively high units per acre, but then I compared it to the properties that are immediately adjacent to the east, and basically the same acreage there's 38 units. So, if any citizens were to have an issue with that, I did want them to have that calculation ready. So, I'm fully in support of this plan compared to, adjacent properties. I think it's a great fit.
I also like the plan. The only thing I had a question on, is I may have missed it, but Chris, is it hardy board or is it vinyl siding on these?
It's going to be the LP siding.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Even better.
I'll vouch. Good? Okay. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Calderon,
Second.
second. Thinking about the guy at the end there, oh my gosh. Peters, and voice vote, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Hearing none, the motion passes. Public hearing's closed. Any other comments we would like to discuss internally here amongst the commissioners?
I think it's a pretty good development, especially for that location. I couldn't imagine really anything else going there. Appreciate that, putting more on there. So.
Thank you.
I think it takes advantage of a long, slender, narrow site. I don't mind the sidewalk on one side, and actually, with the landscape trees inside of that, sometimes when that parkway gets too narrow, roots just come up and it's tough to mow. So having more area for tree roots to spread out and find water hopefully will limit some of those things you see in your front yard in the parkway.
One question. You mentioned you think stick with one-story versus two-story, and the market's kind of dictating that. Is that just because there's a lot of two-story stuff being built currently, and this is just kind of a nice, pivot from that? And
Well, as we age, okay,
I hate stairs. I get it.
less and less stairs, as we know, and it seems to be that there's a high demand for ranch townhomes in the whole southwest suburban Chicagoland area. And we were trying to have smaller units, and I put some feelers out there for a project we did years ago in Lockport here, Pueblo Point, smaller ranch units, and pretty much got the thumbs down. They wanted at least 2 bedrooms and a third for either a study or a dining area, a little bit bigger units, and that's the reason why we started to think a little bit more about increasing the unit size of the townhomes and eliminating the 2 stories. Why mix up the market if we don't have to on such a small site? It's really not necessary. But yeah, it took some. Our original, when we first came in with the 27 units, we had a smaller footprint on the ranch units, and the 2 stories only maybe 25 foot wide, 26 foot wide. So we got a lot of pushback on that. Everybody wants bigger, believe it or not. So,
America.
I guess we spoiled ourselves. I don't know. That's okay.
Very cool design. I like it.
Kimberly, would you mind putting the motion back up?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I can make a recommendation. Whoever's going to make the motion, either strike approve or add the word "and" in between approve and adopt. Because once this goes to the city council, these are your findings of fact.
Yes, and Kimberly, as I looked at that, I was wondering if you were, as you wrote that out, you mentioned approve in the presentation in lieu of adopt. So is it okay, just one of those?
It
or
could be
would you
just,
like both?
it can't just be approved, but it could be just adopt, or you could put it approve and adopt. Either one's fine.
Okay. So let's just put an approve and adopt as that is in there. Thank you, Mike.
Sure.
I'll make the motion to approve and adopt staff findings of facts and recommended approval of the city council for the proposed rezoning special use permit for a planned development and preliminary final plat plan to the following conditions as listed through items 1 through 3 by staff. Would you care for me to read those, or is that sufficient?
It's as presented.
Perfect.
Okay, there is a motion by Garland. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Quinn? Okay. Kathy, can we have a voice vote, please?
Yes. Excuse me, I'm hoarse. Peters,
Yes.
Calderon,
Yes.
Quinn,
Yes.
Likens,
Yes?
Mechek,
Yes.
I learned, Garland,
Yes.
and Giorgetti.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck. Okay, back to the agenda. We don't have any other public hearings. Does not appear we have any new business, nor any old business. Do we have any other citizens to be heard in general? Seeing none? Yes? Yes? One citizen to be heard?
Okay.
Welcome.
Hello,
Could you state your name and your address, please?
my name's Andrew Engelbrecht. I live in Victoria Crossing. Just a couple questions, I guess, I already passed, but that people were concerned about in the neighborhood was the traffic going out. There's the pond right there that a lot of people line up in the summer along the what side would that be? The south side of the Victoria Crossing Road. Concerned about traffic flow. And then I was just curious how this might affect the value of the townhomes that are already there that are 20-some years old.
Okay, you're referring to the case that was just,
Yeah.
our motion was just passed? Okay. I do believe there is a traffic study that is owed to Dan that was requested.
So the traffic study is still being finalized at this point, but they have collected their traffic counts, and we've received assurance from the applicant's traffic engineer that that intersection will operate at an acceptable level. So it is part of the project, and the approval is this traffic study.
And as far as impact to property values, that's really not the purview of this commission.
Okay.
So any statements on that, you're welcome to speak at a city council meeting
Okay.
regarding those.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sure. ENGLEBRECHT. CHT. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.
Okay, I do not have a report today. Any commissioners? Anything? Okay, staff.
The only thing that I will add is that the downtown plan contract was approved and agreed to with the RTA, so we should be starting that in the next, I'm guessing in the next 3 weeks. We're setting up a staff kickoff meeting for that, and that will be shortly followed by a steering committee meeting that we're still compiling all the members from with the mayor's consent.
Very good. Thank you, Lance. Kimberly, anything? Okay. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Motion by Calderon.
Second.
Second by Peters. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes. We're adjourned. Thank you all. Bob, hi.